Lorraine was once one of the main steel capitals of Europe, competing with the infamous German Ruhrgebiet in terms of activity. But within just 40 years, the industry collapsed and vanished nearly completely. Except for one. The historic Wendel steel complex was the place where the industry began. Where incredible wealth was made and massive factories were built. Unique in process in all of Europe. And it's also the last of its kind in the area that still remains. In this 3-part series, we are taking a deep dive into the difficult start, the glory years and the dramatic decline of the industry. The site is vast, being over 360 hectares big, containing many facets of producing steel. In this episode, we are focusing on the grand monumental office building of it all. We enter via the back of the building, which was once the place of a massive garden. After not a lot of effort, we made it inside a dark basement. The basement was filled with asbestos plates, so our goal was to get out of here as fast as possible. After finding a staircase, we made it onto the first floor. Here we were greeted by tall ceilings and grand doors, somewhat reminiscent of being in a French chateau of some sorts. We encountered our first room, which was the lobby to be exact. It was the first room where investors or clients were welcomed. The halls had to impress, showing the success of the company. And it did. Still during our visits, you can see the sheer details that went into building this grand office. When heading deeper into the office, we quickly found ourselves in the central hall. This grand room was the prize jewel of the office building. A large skylight let sunlight flood the hall with light. It was a truly impressive sight to behold, with plenty of details to be seen here. Besides being pretty, this hall had another very important function. It was an example of what was possible with steel in construction. Creativity could flourish in architecture with the use of quality steel created here. This spirit was useful back in 1892 when the office was built, as steel in construction was relatively new at this time. But the story begins a lot earlier. Iron is plentiful in this area, especially located in the hills. Since the times of the Celts, back in 500 years BC, iron was extracted in this area. This was done in a crude way, making holes inside the hills and forests. Forgeries were plenty here, making iron products on a small scale. It gained momentum in the early 1700s, when a man named Martin de Wendel bought an already existing charcoal-fired blast furnace, owned by a local landowner. In the span of a couple of years, all of the surrounding forgeries in the valley were combined into one company, creating Usine Hayange, meaning factory Hayange, named after the town it was located in. This time was also characterized by innovations, making expansion possible. The Wendel was truly ahead of its competition, making it become one of the largest in France. But this was halted due to the French Revolution, which was disastrous for stability. This, combined with the accusation of fleeing the country during the revolution, meant their family was expropriated and in turmoil. We continue with the Grand Hall, this time on the second floor. Here the skylight was a lot more visible, truly showing the details and art that went in here. It was true craftsmanship. When looking further, the structure was pretty bad, with large holes in the walls and roofs. This place had been abandoned somewhere back in the 1980s, which explains the advanced decay. A bit further, the natural lighting continued, leading us into what was probably the old boardroom. The old hardwood panels were already gone, probably stolen. But right here decisions were made on the strategy of the company. Faded glory is often not this visible. After the French Revolution, with the execution of the king, Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte quickly became the new ruler of France. Napoleon was notorious for expanding France, which was good news for the family of de Wendel. Napoleon needed their expertise, so the family returned to operate the company. This, combined with the Industrial Revolution, kickstarted a rapid modernization and expansion effort. Steam engines, newer generation blast furnaces, it all was implemented in the factories of Hayange. Many blast furnaces were also switched from charcoal towards regular coal. This was also the time when Lorraine became the center of the French steel industry. The office was vast, holding many different wings. We went into one of those wings, in the search for maybe something left behind. Even though it was abandoned for a long time, details were still quite plenty. The condition was also pretty good in some areas. Places such as these truly aren't getting built like this anymore. Some details, such as these glass block ceilings, are also quite unique. Many rooms were empty, but not all. Some rooms were still full of all kinds of paperwork scattered around. Upon closer inspection, the traces of a bygone era can be found. Production reports of the amount of iron made can be found. All traces of when this area was one of the centers of industry. There were heaps of these, discarded as trash. 1870 was the year the Franco-Prussian War broke out. The Prussians invaded France, with the factory of Hayange being one of the first places to be annexed. Eventually, the Prussians made it all the way to Paris, resulting in a peace settlement. Alsace-Lorraine was annexed by the Germans, which meant that Usine de Wendel was now under German control. This was disastrous, as it now had to compete with the many often newer and larger factories in the Ruhrgebiet. Many of the workers also fled the area, fleeing towards French soil. Again, the future was in turmoil and uncertain. And so we end up on the last floor of the building, in the attic. But it is not, as you might imagine, an attic. It was quite nice, with tons of natural light. Lost paperwork was also plenty, scattered all over the floor. The majority were old bills, some even dating back all the way to the 1960s. Plans, financial reports, it all was scattered here. When walking further, large empty shelves can be found here. It is an impressive sight to witness the sheer scale of how big this archive must have been. The size of the company at its height became really clear seeing these empty shelves. In the next episode, we will dive deeper in the glory period, where the rise of many new factories, massive mining operations, and the Wendel family, growing out to be the richest family of France.